Prokaryotes, they are the cells that they do not have a nucleus, but they are still living organisms, and they show the 6 characteristics of life. Prokaryotes live in different habitats, as the Earth is here, and the continents. This is not to scale drawing actually. This is Europe over there. And I will just draw the latitudes around. So the 0 will be the equator, the 0 latitude. 23 north will be the Tropic of Cancer and the southeast Tropic of Capricorn, or vice versa. And the 46 round is going to be the Arctic Circle. Between the 23s is the tropical region. Between 23 and 45 is a temperate zone, and above 40 or 46 is the Arctic region. Now, the organisms live in 2 hot as well as 2 cold places. These prokaryotes, this is the water, the ocean water that has a salinity grade salt content. So here is when it's too cold region, this is the too hot region, as well as the salty region, too salty region, as well as the Great Salt Lake, and also an acidic or alkaline environment where eukaryotes would not survive. But some bacteria, and I'm just saying some bacteria pathogens, and they can cause disease to different organisms, to the humans most likely that we care about, as well as for animals or plants that we domesticated that we want to just use. So they are pathogens. But the important part is, but most bacteria on our body, because we have, are benign or beneficial. We have Microbiota, that is a community of microorganisms that live in and on our bodies. They can live in our mouth, and they do live in our nose, stomach, and intestine. And in the intestine, they produce the vitamin K. Without vitamin K, we would bleed to death. As well as we have tons of trillions of bacteria on our skin, as well as fungus and different organisms. They are called the microbiota. Prokaryotes live in soil also and help to decompose dead organisms and other organic waste material. Here is the tree that dies, the tree. So without decomposers, we would have all of the dead materials piling up on Earth. This is going to be a cave, where in the cave would live, bats would live. These are the eyes and the bats. And they have organic waste material. They produce organic waste. And the bacteria would help return chemical elements back to the environment. And these are the droppings of the bat droppings. And they contain nitrogen, and nitrogen will be so important to recycle back in the environment. So these are the decomposer. Prokaryotes are the decomposers, and they put back the nitrogen into the environment. They are part of chemical cycles. Now, the 2 types of prokaryotes, the 2 main domains, the archaea as well as the bacteria domains, they are different in some ways. That's why we sort them out into 2 domains, but they share the common characteristics that they are prokaryotes. They do not have membrane-bound organelles. Without prokaryotes, life all forms of eukaryotic life would be impossible on Earth. Now, talking about the nitrogen cycle. So the nitrogen is in the atmosphere, and it's important for proteins and nucleic acids. The DNA. Nitrogen gas makes up 80% of the atmosphere. Nitrogen is important, but our body and eukaryotes' body cannot use that nitrogen to build proteins and nucleic acids. So they need fixed nitrogen, that the nitrogen would bind to hydrogen or more preferably to oxygen atoms and forming an ion. So the nitrogen fixing bacteria would add hydrogen to the nitrogen, and they will form ammonia or ammonium. And in the soil, there's another one, another bacteria, the nitrifying bacteria. The nitrifying bacteria is changing the ammonium ion, the NH4 positive, into nitrate or nitrate, NO2 negative or NO3 negative. And these are the fixed nitrogens, fixed nitrates that so great for the plants. These are the ones that the plant can pick it up and use it for its protein synthesis as well as nucleic acid synthesis or the DNA synthesis, let's say it. So the plant is able to pick up the nitrate and nitrite and the nitrate. Now, what would happen if the plant would die? So the decomposers would come, and the decomposers make the nitrate and the nitrite back. They turn back those elements into ammonia or ammonium. So these are the decomposers. They can be not only prokaryotes but fungi as well as protists and some animals like the earthworm. And the decomposers turn the nitrate and the nitrate into ammonia. The ammonia is not really good for the plant. They cannot just pick it up easily. So the nitrifying bacteria will turn those again into nitrate and nitrate. Now, sometimes when there are no plants and the soil is so compacted, there's no oxygen in the soil, there comes the denitrifying bacteria. The denitrifying, it's anaerobe that thrives in no oxygen environment, and they turn the nitrite and the nitrate into molecular nitrogen. So it goes back into the atmosphere. The number one problem is the human interaction in the environment, that using fertilizers, pretty much adding more artificial nitrate or nitrite into the environment, and causes the eutrophication. We have a lake, nice and clean, but the nitrate and the nitrite, the fertilizers, will make an algae bloom, and the lake would disappear eventually, and the plants would take